Alright guys, here we go. We're going to talk about Game 3. Rangers win their first game of the season against the Montreal Canadiens at home by a score of 2-0. A lot of controversy with this one. I'm guessing that Montreal fans are upset with the fact that the Rangers had, Montreal had 2 goals that were discounted. One was a kick in by Andrew Shaw that then ricocheted off of a few sticks. I don't remember who it ricocheted off of, but he basically kicked it from behind the net, side behind the net, and it went around Henrik Lundqvist and into the goal. I was kind of fuzzy on that one. Like, I thought that once a puck deflects, that it doesn't matter. But I guess not. I guess if you kick, like, whatever set the puck into motion, and whoever was the last offensive player to touch that puck, if it was a kicking motion, I guess the goal doesn't count. So that one, and then the goaltender interference call on Gallagher? I don't remember who the goaltender interference on. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I had a busy few days playing hockey and stuff, so it's not entirely fresh. But I don't remember who exactly it bounced off of. But basically, shot comes in. McDonough is battling with someone, either Shaw or Gallagher is my guess. And basically, it could have been Patrick. I don't know. But anyway, so he basically hits Lundqvist in the head, and Lundqvist makes a save, rebounds off of him and into the goal, and that was disallowed. The Rangers, I believe, challenged that one and won. It could be the other way around. But anyway, so those 2 goals are disallowed. The Rangers then go and score. Brady Shea takes a shot from the left boards, and it ricochets off of Shea Weber's skate into the net. That's a tough one for Price to save. That's a hard shot, or it's a hard shot to save. And that sucks, man. That always sucks when it just ricochets off a defender's skate who, it just had no chance. And so Rangers go up 1-0. Later in the game, Zibanejad takes a pass from Buchnevich and then rips it short side. Great forechecking by Buchnevich. I didn't know he was that big. He's like, they say he was like 6'3", 2 something. That's pretty big. He didn't look that big. But so that line remains to be the Rangers' best line, best forward line by far. Keedle, as of today, Keedle has now been sent down to Hartford, so he's in the AHL, which is I don't get it. I really don't. This is very reminiscent of Alain Vigneault benching Lindbergh and Buchnevich in the playoffs last year. The thing I don't get is, unless he's injured, why let the kid have all this hype? How many articles were written about him in the Post? Like, there were like 3 or 4 articles in the Post, Blue Shirt Banter, Blue Line Station, NBC, NHL. They're all writing these stories about the Rangers and this kid from the Czech Republic who's basically 17 years old. He's going to get the start, and he's going to play second line center in between Rick Nash and Matt Zuccarello. And what happens? All that hype. He winds up playing like nothing the first game. He played maybe 10 minutes, probably less. Second game, he plays like 4 minutes and is benched for the rest of the game. Obviously, the Maple Leafs were shelling the Rangers, but I don't see how that's his fault. He was a -1. There were 5 goals against. He was a -1. I don't see how that's his fault. I mean, Tony DeAngelo, it was his fault on the second goal. JT Miller, it was his fault on one of the goals. And Tony DeAngelo was sat for Game 3. Which I thought, listen, DeAngelo is a much better player than Holden and Kampfer. Definitely Kampfer, but probably Holden. But he gets sat. And I think it was, as much as I disagree with a lot of the stuff Alain Vigneault does, I think it was probably the right move. That was one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen, and he's, that's what he is. He's a high-risk guy. I mean, he could have made the easy play and gone up the boards, and, probably would have just, like, crawled into the neutral zone, maybe gone to their zone, but picked up, and, the Maple Leafs would have come right back. Instead, he tries to thread the needle, whip a pass up to the left winger, and it just ricochets off the guys. I mean, there were two guys there. It's always going to, it's like 50-50 whether it hits skates or not. And, he blew it. But, so he gets sacked. So the Rangers run 7 defensemen that game. They sit Ketel entirely. He's not even dressed. And, they play Steven Kampfer and Nick Holden. And actually, no, it was Brendan Smith who was sat for Game 3. Because Smith played really bad, really poorly. But D'Angelo did play, but it was very sparse. And I agree with the Smith benching. He needs to wake up a little bit more. He's a better defender than both of those guys for sure. But he needs to wake up and play better. And once again, AV throws Mark Stahl in the pairing with Ryan McDonagh. I get it. Mark Stahl's been playing pretty well. He's been like one of their better defenders, but that's not going to last. So you might as well get the chemistry of Kevin Shattenkirk and Ryan McDonagh and start working on that. Anyway, so not much to talk about. Henrik Lundqvist puts in a great performance. Obviously, there's 2 disallowed goals, so you could argue, was it really a shutout? Yeah, it was. I mean, goals get disallowed. It's like the refs hate the Rangers for the most part, so to, argue that those goals would, the Rangers were getting favored, they weren't. I mean, give me a break. Both of those were pretty close calls, but they could have gone either way. But yeah, so the Rangers wind up getting a 2-0 shutout. I think Henrik makes 34 saves, if I remember correctly. 34 save shutout. That's a good showing. And the thing about the Canadians is, I have no sympathy for them. They have a dumb coach as well. Claude Julien is not, maybe Canadians fans can clear it up, but I don't understand why Alex Galchenyuk is playing on the third line left wing. It seems like a lot of these French coaches, do a lot of crazy stuff, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. Difference is that Claude Julien has won a Stanley Cup, and Alain Vigneault has lost every Stanley Cup that was handed to him, especially the one in Vancouver. The Ranger one against the Kings was a little bit more, iffy, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, so yeah, 2-0 win. First win of the season, good job. And, the Rangers get back to action tonight against the Blues in exactly 9 minutes. So I'm going to go watch that. All right, guys, that's Game 3.